I promised to voice my anxieties when they came up instead of letting them spiral into accusations and paranoia. The next morning, we checked out of the hotel and drove to the airport. The flight home felt completely different from the flight there. We were both exhausted and didn't talk much, but there was something new between us now. We'd seen each other's deepest wounds and messiest parts, and we'd both chosen to stay. We'd chosen to work on healing together while also doing our own individual work. When we landed and drove back to our house, I felt like I was seeing everything with new eyes. I noticed things I'd walked past 100 times before but never really paid attention to. In his closet, there was a Marine Corps flag folded in a perfect triangle sitting on the top shelf. On his dresser was a challenge coin that I'd always thought was just some random keepsake. The way he organized his space with everything in its exact place wasn't just him being neat. It was military precision drilled into him from years of service. These weren't just quirks anymore, but pieces of an identity shaped by experiences I'd never fully understand. A few days after we got back, I was in the kitchen making coffee when his phone buzzed on the counter next to me. I felt that old familiar urge rise up in my chest to grab it and check who was texting him. My hand actually moved toward the phone before I caught myself and pulled it back. The fear and suspicion were still there, living inside me like they always had been. But now I had the awareness to recognize it as my trauma talking instead of truth. I stepped away from the counter and took a few deep breaths until the urge passed. That night, I sat at my laptop and started researching therapists who specialized in trust issues and past relationship trauma. I read through profiles and reviews for over an hour looking for someone who seemed like a good fit. I needed someone who wouldn't just tell me to get over it or that I was being unreasonable. I needed someone who understood that betrayal leaves actual scars that don't just fade because time passes. Making the appointment felt like taking responsibility for my own healing instead of expecting my boyfriend to fix damage someone else caused. My first session was 2 weeks later in a small office downtown. The therapist's name was Gage, and he had kind eyes and asked me to tell him why I was there.